Let's put the billionaire fantasies aside for a moment. Forget yachts, forget private jets, forget numbers so large they stop meaning anything. I want to talk about a number that actually determines whether your life moves forward or stays stuck. That number is not $1 million. It's not even 100,000. It's $20,000. And I know on Wall Street that number sounds laughably small. It might barely cover the wine at a single dinner. But for ordinary people, $20,000 is the most important, the most difficult, and the most decisive sum of money they will ever touch. Not because of what it buys, but because of what it changes. Here's the uncomfortable truth most financial advice avoids. When your savings are near zero, you are not building a future. You are surviving the present. Every small problem becomes an emergency. A car repair becomes a crisis. A medical bill becomes a catastrophe. A late paycheck becomes panic. This is not a mindset issue, it's physics. In physics, there's a concept called escape velocity. A rocket burns more fuel in the first few minutes after launch than it does during most of its journey through space. Why? Because at the beginning, it must fight gravity at its strongest and air resistance at its thickest. For most people, the zone between $0 and $20,000 is that gravity. You are not progressing, you are resisting being pulled back down. Below this line, life is fragile. Banks charge you fees because your balance is too low. You pay higher interest because you're considered risky. You buy cheap things that break because you can't afford durable ones. Ironically, being poor is expensive. This is what I call financial gravity. And until you break free of it, no investment strategy can save you. People love to talk about compound interest at this stage, but compounding requires mass. If your base is too small, even brilliant returns change nothing. A 10% return on almost nothing is still almost nothing. That's why so many people feel like they're running hard but not moving forward. They're stuck in the gravity well. Now here's what happens when you cross that $20,000 line. Nothing changes on the outside. You don't look richer. You don't live better. Your car doesn't magically improve. But inside, something fundamental shifts. You gain what I call refusal power, the ability to say no. Let me explain why this matters more than income. Imagine two people in the same job, with the same skills, earning the same salary. One has no savings, the other has $20,000 in cash. When an unreasonable demand appears, the first person feels fear immediately. Fear hijacks judgment. They can't negotiate, they can't push back, they can't walk away, they don't sell their labor, they sell their dignity. The second person doesn't panic, not because they're brave, but because they have time. Time is power. If you cannot walk away, you cannot negotiate. That $20,000 is not luxury money. It is psychological armor. It quiets the survival alarm in your brain. And when that alarm shuts off, something remarkable happens. Your thinking improves. Research shows that constant financial stress reduces cognitive capacity, the equivalent of losing a full night's sleep every day. When survival fear disappears, your mind finally switches from survival mode to strategy mode. You start thinking months ahead, then years. This is when real wealth becomes possible. And this is also where most people fail. Because when you finally reach this number, the temptation is enormous. You feel like you deserve a reward, a new car, a better apartment, a visible sign of success. But spending this money too early is like grinding seed grain into flour. It feels satisfying and it destroys the harvest. This is the great trap, the moment when most people fall back into the gravity well, often deeper than before. True wealth is not the ability to buy things, It's the ability to delay gratification without resentment. Once you protect this base, something else begins. The compound interest machine finally turns on. Now returns are no longer symbolic. They begin to matter. Even modest growth starts covering real expenses. Rent, bills, time, money stops being noise and starts becoming leverage. But there's a rule here, and it's non-negotiable. Before this stage, your job is accumulation and defense. Not gambling, not chasing shortcuts, not trying to feel clever. Boring beats broken. And once you're past this threshold, your relationship with money changes forever. Before, money controlled your choices. After, money becomes a tool, not to impress others, but to buy back your time, your health, and your peace of mind. This is the part most people misunderstand about wealth. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it does remove chronic stress. And low stress is a dividend more valuable than most investments. It improves your sleep, your relationships, your patience, your decision making. This is the quiet reward no one posts on social media. So if you're below this number right now, don't be discouraged. Ignore the noise, ignore the displays, focus on the physics. Your goal is not luxury, your goal is escape. And escape begins with discipline, restraint, and time. Now, if this way of thinking feels different, calmer, more grounded, less sensational, that's intentional. This channel is about building wealth that lasts, not chasing excitement. If you found value here, take 1 second. Like this video so more people see ideas that actually work. Subscribe if you want clear thinking about money, discipline, and long-term freedom. And in the comments, write this: I'm building my first real base, because writing it down turns intention into commitment. This isn't the flashy path, it's the effective one, and it works.